Hello and welcome to Who Dares Walls TV. I am your host, Mike B, and here we are. So it is January the 20th today, I believe. It's a Tuesday. This may go out on the Tuesday. Who knows? So this morning, the crack of dawn, the early hours, where it was fucking freezing, I left my house here in Southampton and travelled to London to go to the Toy Fair. So it's 8:18 in the morning, and I've been in the car now for about 20 minutes. No, 40 minutes. And I've moved about 20-30, it feels like. The morning Southampton traffic is at standstill. Oh no, we're moving. How exciting. Quick, no one look. I'm not on the phone. But yes, so we may be at Toy Fair at some point today. Maybe not. So, yes, Toy Fair. So that was it's Olympia in London. And yes, I've been down there. We had a look around. So there was, I went and to Ravensburger. We've been knocking it out of the park recently, actually, to be fair. Jaws from Ravensburger. Excellent game, fantastic, really enjoyed that, and one of my top games from last year. But yeah, so I had a look at what else they had there. So there was Minecraft, which, you know, Minecraft's still a thing. This was a kind of resource collecting engine builder type thing. You've got like a block of Minecrafty cubes, which is kind of a cool thing. You chip away at taking them off. If there's two faces showing, you can take a cube off of this, and you use that to buy resources to be able to pop tiles on a map and score points. That's kind of it. There was a simplified version for the really teeny weenies, and then there's one with a little bit more complexity where you can fight monsters and stuff for the grown-ups. Seemed fine, you know. It wasn't astounding, wasn't anything, you know, revolutionary or anything, but as a licensed game, it was fine. But then when I looked at 3D Labyrinth, I like Labyrinth. Labyrinth is a real cutthroat kids game. If you've never played Labyrinth, it's worth a play with some adults because it's vicious. So they had 3D Labyrinth, which was tiles on there which stack. So you can stack on them and then move the whole stacks again. I didn't really play it, but I looked at it. It was kind of cool looking. There was Get Rich, which is a trick-taking-y, push-your-luck game. Bit pokerish involved in there. Bit of Yahtzee, bit of Monopoly. But quick and thing. Definitely an end-of-evening play. Not convinced on that one. Stacks of paper money. I'm sure some people will love that. Then there was Villainous. And the latest expansion of Villainous, they had some bits there to look at, which I've not played or seen, but you hear the buzz on it, and it's been getting quite a lot of buzz. So that was there, and Horrified, which I desperately want is Horrified, which is the Universal Monsters sort of co-op game, bit pandemic-y. Had some real good buzz about that, and just as a Universal Monsters fan, it is something that I want in my collection. I think that's coming out in the next couple of months. I'm maybe going to have to speak very nicely Ravensburger. See if I can get a copy of that. Brilliant. So that was Ravensburger. Popped along, there was Funko were there with their kind of cool funky stand. They had all the Pop adventure game. Don't know its actual name, but that was there. So they were showing off the new Jurassic Park that had been launched, announced, I think, that day. The Golden Girls expansion and the Harry Potter and the other stuff. Never played it. It's kind of an arena battle game. I've heard some good things about it, especially when it was cheap on Amazon at Christmas. One that I may pick up eventually, just maybe trying to coax the kids into playing. But, you know, if it's your thing, then hey, who wouldn't want a small pop vinyl Raptor? Cool. So there was lots of other stuff. We looked at some toys. There was lots of toys there. Lots of, as a Toy Fair. There's lots of kind of figures and cool. And there was the Space 1999 stuff that looked really funky. Show my age. So I looked around that, and I didn't really have time to scout into everything. There was lots of stuff. Then Atmosphere. So yes, Atmosphere, if you've not played it, was a 1980s board game when it first came out, which had a VHS tape on it that played with this Crypt Keeper, the Gatekeeper. Very simple, straightforward roll and move game. Essentially, you had to go around and find keys, get to the middle, and win the game. That was kind of in a nutshell how it worked. And having played it a few years back, just to whet the old appetite to see what it was like. It is showing its age. So anyway, there was a DVD version of that. There was a Star Wars version of it, which I've got around here somewhere, I think. Don't know what I've done with that. But some other stuff. What's up there? So all that came out. There was a DVD version of Atmosphere of the Mummy, I think it was, and then that was kind of it. So this uses an app. It's an app-driven thing. You can use the smart TVs or tablets or whatever. Same idea, principle. It's more interactive with the actual gatekeeper. Kind of cool. I don't know if they've done anything with the actual basic game. I have a feeling they've just kind of updated that side of it. But that's coming out in, I think, about Easter time. So if that's maybe ride the wave of the people who are into the older stuff now, with likes of Dark Tower doing very well on Kickstarter at the moment. There is a hunger for that sort of stuff. Capture your childhood if that is your thing. So there was that, and then there was Bill and Ted's Riff in Time for War Cradle Studios. Don't know them off the top of my head. So that I had a look at. It's a co-op game. Obviously using the new Bill and Ted movies out in the summer. It's a licensed game. It seemed alright. It didn't massively blow my socks off. It's a co-op game. If you go around shutting time riffs in time and space, feel Eldritch horror type feel. So that was kind of it. There was some minis in there and cool, but. So that was that. So that was it. I did bump into Stuart Garside, who did Ember, if you remember Ember. That was a card game. He's got his new game coming out, which is Geode. I won't pick the box up because all the components are kind of in there, but they've got shuffled around and moving, and it's basically going to just spill its innards everywhere. It's a tile-laying game of making set collection of the Geode rocks. That's kind of, he gave me a very brief rundown of it. This is coming out on Kickstarter, I believe, in a couple of months' time. It looks pretty cool. He did well with Ember. Ember did really well. So we'll have a look at this. This looks fun. I like a tile laying game, cool stuff like that. It looks simple, but nice production design on it, nice art and design on it. Looks cool. I can show you bits and pieces while we're here. I mean, this is obviously, none of this is final. This is all just the mic could pick up a thing. So geodes, you've got scores in them, so you'll be looking to obviously make sets of the same colour, I'm presuming, but these are for pre-production things. It's very good quality, but yes, it looks cool. Next games night I will drag that out and we will give it a go, and at some point subsequently down the road I will be reviewing it. I'm waffling. So that's Toy Fair. So that's the Toy Fair out of the way. That was kind of cool. It was interesting bits and pieces to be there. Still Asmodee were there in Games Workshop. The Games Workshop had a tiny little stand, and really I didn't get a chance to speak to anyone there. I don't imagine they would have. Asmodee had a larger stand. Most of the front-facing stuff that I could see was all kind of more the mainstream side of stuff, because it's what that sort of market is they're selling to at the fair. So I didn't really bother looking at that either. So nothing amazing that's coming that I saw that like blew my socks off, like left me astounded. Oh my god, this looks amazing. But there's a couple of cool things, but interesting nevertheless. A nice day out. So that was it. So what we played recently, you want to quickly go through Clank Legacy. We started a game of that last Sunday. That is very good. Only played 2 games of it so far, but I'm quite a fan of Clank. Clank Legacy, very cool, really well done. I was wondered how they were going to work it into the actual game, but so far, what I've seen of it, which is literally 2 games of the 10-game campaign in total, I'm digging on Clank Legacy. It's definitely hit my sweet spot. Cool. So it would be a video without an unboxing, so I'm fortunate enough to have to unbox today is Dungeon Degenerates, which was recently kickstarted with its expansion. This one here. I was a part of a UK board game trading and chat group arranged by Blaze. Thank you very much. Very good of you. Met a nice chap there while I was there, and he had these to give to me when I reached him at the show. So let's have a quick look. So if you don't know what this is kind of like a sandboxy, dungeony, crawl game. It's part RPG almost, really, where you've got a bunch of guys who've escaped from prison and are running around the countryside getting into quests and stuff and all sorts of things. However, you may have spotted that just there's this subtle kind of crazy art and colours, and like it's just, oh my god, it's like a Dayglow vomit. But I kind of like the aesthetic on it, and it's kind of like the old album covers from the 70s and 80s even to a point. So that's kind of its aesthetic. So, oh my god, it's quite heavy. I had to lug this around London for a good few hours, and it was heavy. So there we go. So the shining thing on this is this ridiculously. Oh, look at that. There's a game board you're not going to fall asleep playing. So there we go. There's the Dungeons Degenerates map in all its multicoloured glory. Good grief. Look at that. That's a beauty. Some player boards on there. They're kind of cool. More of the subtle colours and designs there. There is some things. Player aids. Campaign book. You know, it's... So this is quite meaty a game, I think. This is one to sort of... There's lots of text. Lots of it small print. It looks kind of cool. I mean, I'm aesthetic-wise, I'm liking it. I'm digging all that. Lots of tokens, very colourful tokens. Lots of cards, and some dice, and some bits and pieces. No minis in this one. It's all... You could get the minis on the Kickstarter, but actually I quite dig the cool sort of standees and the crazy art, the design. So there's that. That's something I'm going to be looking at some point soon when I get a chance to look at that. But I just thought I'd share that with you. That was a cool thing. Quite like a Dungeon Delve, but I like the idea of what it's doing. It's the sandbox thing. So that's the base game. Then there's the Mean Streets expansion, which basically adds, I think, some more characters and some cards and stuff. Not a lot, but just some bits and pieces. But I thought if you're going in, you might as well go in with both feet to get most of what was available, because that's what we do. Yep. So there we go. So there's the Mean Streets. There's another rule book, a smaller one this time. There we go. And some more cards, more characters we can play. An unlicensed surgeon, or maybe a sickly soldier. Kind of cool. A fugitive fop. I quite fancy being a fugitive fop with looks like a slightly rabid raccoon with them. So this adds a play mechanism into the game, which I'm presuming what the hordes of blue bottles are relating to. Kind of cool. Some more monsters, some more cards. That's pretty much it. All of it in its... step myself with a scalpel. All of it in its beautiful day-glow glory. So there you go, Dungeon Degenerates. It's very well rated. I've heard some really good things about it. And I'm a sucker for a RPG sort of a dungeon crawl, and it does sound cool and does look good. It's a bit old school, which I kind of like, because I'm old. So there we go. So that's all of that for this thing we've got coming up. As I say, there's a bunch of videos I need to film. I need to do Tinder Blocks review. I saw Ali Cat at the show, actually. Anyway, I digress. Tinder Blocks and Kitten, top of my agenda to do. We'll be looking at Geode at some point soon. I've got a bunch of other stuff I'm looking past camera up. It needs to be looked at some point, and yeah, and a bunch of there's some emails recently. Also, I need to do the top 25 games of the last decade, which I've got the list now, so I just need to film it. So I'm trying to work out how to do that where it doesn't go on all night long, and that I think is it really. Good grief. So yes, have a wonderful week of gaming. It's my birthday in a couple of days' time, so I should be celebrating by having a birthday. Who knows? I might get a present. Oh, how exciting. I like a birthday. I might get a present. We'll carry on with the Clank Legacy at some point. This is probably going to get parked for the time being until we finish that and multitude of other things we're doing. Oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? I need more time to be able to play games. That's essentially what the issue is. Cool. Anyway, that is us done. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe or share even. All that stuff, which is a goodly nature. You can go to Patreon and you can patronise me, which is always nice. And then I can afford more games like this. I'm joking. But yes, there we go. So that's us done. Have a lovely rest of the week. Hopefully play at some point this week. And we will catch up with you very soon. I say we, the royal we. I've been Mike B. This has been Who Dares Rolls, and that is us signing out for the time being. Good night.